host on this channel. In this video, we will have our discussion on the concept of the Pushkara Navamsha. So now friends, I have talked a lot on the concept of the D9 chart, different rising signs on the D9 chart, different kind of yogas in the D9 chart, but somehow I have never talked about exclusively in a video on a concept of the Pushkara Navamsha. So in this video we will try to dig deep into it, because trust me friends, whatsoever you know right now about looking at the planetary placement, whether in the ascendant chart, validating it in the D9 chart, only if you will add the Pushkara Navamsha degree, it is definitely going to give you a refined edge to your astrological assessment. So now friends, to begin with, now as you must be knowing about this thing, that in Vedic Astrology we give a lot of weightage to the D9 chart or the Navamsha chart. Now it has been believed and it has been advised in all of our astrological classical texts that whatsoever you see in the form of the planetary presence in the main ascendant chart, which is a snapshot of the planetary placements at the time when you were born. So that just gives us this insight or this information regarding the surface picture of the planetary dignity or the planetary strength. But if you actually want to know the true roots or the foundation or the true dignity of the planets, you have to see the planetary placement of those same planets in the D9 chart as well. So you can also relate it in this way, that the planetary placements in the ascendant chart can be seen as a 4K television set, but the true signal or network which is going to have a deciding factor that how strong or good the picture quality is to be. So for that we have to see the same planetary placement in the D9 chart. Now friends, different astrologers have got a different viewpoint of looking at the D9 chart, but trust me, my approach towards D9 chart is very simple, just because this is a chart which gets formed after making the 9th division of your Rashi chart in the main ascendant chart. Now 9 is a number, whether you talk about in the numerology where it tells about the divinity, even in the original 9th house of our main ascendant chart, 9th house is actually the house of the luck, fortune, divinity. So same way friends, the planetary placements in the D9 chart can also be looked at in this way, that the divine protects you. Your luck, your good karma from the past lifetime actually helps you, protects the signification of the planet or the areas of the life which that planet rules in your life via its dignity, via its strength in the D9 chart. Now friends, the today's concept is going to be on the Pushkara Navamsha degrees. So now what information does this Pushkara Navamsha gives to us? So now that's very simple. If you will break this word down, Pushkara Navamsha or the Pushkara, that could be understood in a way that the one which nourishes. So now there are certain degrees in all the 12 zodiac signs where if a planet is going to be placed in, irrespective of its strength, now whether the planet is exalted, the planet is weak or debilitated, or no matter in which transition the planet is going to go through, like you will also find a lot many alignments where you will find the planet to be exalted in the main ascendant chart, but the moment you are going to open the D9 chart, the same planet is going to be debilitated. So from ha 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 to oh my god movement. And same way you will also find all those kind of circumstances where a planet is going to be weak or debilitated in the main ascendant chart. You will be like, oh my god, I'm not gonna get good results in the dasha of this planet. But the moment you're going to open the D9 chart, the same planet is going to be exalted. So in the same chemistry, in the same alignment, the Pushkara Navamsha degree can also have a strong say over there. So now friends, I will now be explaining it to you, this concept, via a slide which you can see in your screen. So now friends, in this slide I have mentioned down the degrees of the Pushkara Navamsha. So as you can see over here, that all the fire signs like Aries, Leo, Sagittarius have got the Pushkara Navamsha degree in the 20 degrees to 23 degree 20 minutes, which is the Navamsha Pada of the Libra, and 26 degree 40 minutes to 30 degrees, which is the Navamsha Pada of the Sagittarius. So now friends, these are the areas or the section in the fire signs which is seen as the Pushkara degrees, which means if a planet is going to be placed over here in these degrees, that planet is going to get the nourishment from the zodiac belt. Now friends, let's say for example, when we talk about the fire sign, so even if a Saturn which is going to be debilitated in the Aries sign, but if you will find Saturn to be placed in the section of the Pushkara degrees, like in between 20 degrees to 23 degree 20 minutes. So not only Saturn is going to be exalted in the D9 chart, but also it is going to be placed in the Pushkara degrees as well. Same way friends, if you will find Sun to be placed in the like for example in 22 degrees within the section of the Pushkara degrees, so Sun is going to be exalted. Now in the D9 chart, Sun is going to go debilitated, but even after that, because it is going to be placed in the Pushkara degrees, so its signification of the debilitation in the D9 chart is going to stay protected to a greater extent. Now friends, if we go to the earth signs, so in the earth signs which are the Taurus, Virgo and the Capricorn, the Pushkara degrees are from 6 degree 40 minutes to 10 degrees, which is the Pisces Navamsa, and 13 degrees 20 minutes to 16 degree 40 minutes, which is the Taurus Navamsa. So that means friends, if any planet is going to be placed in these earth signs but in these Pushkara degrees, the signification of that planet is going to stay protected. Now let's say, take up the case of the planet Venus. So now I keep on coming across so many charts of people in fashion business or in any sort of entertainment business, and all these people, they do not have a strong deeper knowledge of astrology, and they say this thing that I do not know the base of astrology. I have been so successful in my field of art, creativity, entertainment, and when I look at my chart, my planet which represents all these businesses is debilitated. Now their planet might be debilitated, but it is gaining strength not only in the Navamsa, but it is also going to be placed in the Pushkara degrees as well. So now friends, Venus which goes debilitated in the Virgo sign, but let's say for example if Venus is going to be placed in the 7 degrees, so that means Venus is going to be in the Pisces Navamsa, is going to be exalted in the D9 chart, but also it is going to be placed in the Pushkara degrees as well. So same way friends, when we talk about the next category of the element, which is the air element, in which Gemini, Libra and Aquarius comes, so the Pushkara degrees are from 16 degree 40 minutes to 20 degrees, which is the Pisces Navamsa, and 23 degree 20 minutes to 26 degree 40 minutes, which is the Taurus Navamsa. So any planet which is going to be placed in these degrees, that planet is going to stay protected or is going to feel nourished in its natural signification. And lastly friends, when we talk about the water signs, so now friends over here, like as you can see that the initial degrees like 0 degree to 3 degree 20 minutes is the Cancer Navamsa, which is the Pushkara Navamsa degrees. And next is the 6 degree 40 minutes to 10 degrees, which is the Virgo Pushkara Navamsa. Now friends, let's say for example, if you will find someone's moon to be debilitated, but if moon is going to be placed in the Scorpio, the sign of its debilitation, but if it is going to be placed in the Pushkara Navamsa degrees, so somehow the signification of the moon is going to stay protected. Now friends, that was one way of looking at it. Now if you will try to do a whole statistics or a summary analysis of this table, you will get to know that just because friends, each sign is going to have two sections of the Pushkara Navamsa degrees. So that means we have in total 24 Pushkara Navamsa, and if you will make a sum total of all of that, you will get to know that out of the 24 we have 18 Pushkara Navamsa, which is being ruled by the planet Venus and the Jupiter. Both are the naturally benefic planet. So 9 Pushkara Navamsa are being controlled or being ruled by the planet Jupiter, and 9 are being controlled or ruled by the Venus, and remaining 6 are being controlled by Moon and Mercury, 3 by Moon and 3 by Mercury. So now friends, that in itself proves this notion, this dictum, that when we are talking about the nourishment, that is a natural signification of all the benefic planets. You haven't or you would not have heard this thing anywhere in any astrology book that Saturn nourishes or Mars nourishes or Rahu nourishes. So in a way this proves that all the benefic planets, because they are going to have a say in the Pushkara Navamsa, so that means they hold this natural signification that if a planet is going to be placed in these said degrees. Now that hardly matters whether in the main ascendant chart a planet is debilitated, a planet is exalted, or a planet is going through transition from its placement in the Lagan chart or in the D9 chart, from exalted to debilitated or debilitated to exalted. But if a planet is going to be placed in the Pushkara Navamsha degrees, so that means that planet is going to have this kind of scope of improving its results in its planetary dasha or its planetary time period. So now friends, the summary of this discussion is that, as you know this fact, that the sign which we get as our rising sign is the sign which is rising on the eastern horizon at the time when we were being born. So each sign rises within or after every 2 hours. So in a complete single day we have 12 signs which rises, and just because each sign has got a rulership or a control over 2 Pushkara Navamsa, so that means in a whole day we have in total 24 Navamsa, Pushkara Navamsa, which rises in the sky. Now friends, you will very soon get to know the importance of this, because when I will take you to the application part of the Pushkara Navamsa, then you will get to know the science behind all of this. Now friends, before we will switch to the next section, there is one more thing which you have to know over here, is that we have just understood a section of a zodiac belt which is called as the Pushkara Navamsa. But over and above that friends, in our classical astrological text, they have also mentioned a specific degree, which in many books they call it as a Pushkara bhaga, or in many texts they call it Pushkaransh. So now that is that for all the fire signs, which are Aries, Leo and the Sagittarius sign, if any planet is going to be placed in any of these fire sign but in the 21 degree, so that means that planet is going to be placed in the Pushkaransh or Pushkara bhaga. That is going to give it additional extraordinary strength or power to manifest some very good results. Now same way friends, now when we talk about the earth signs, which are Taurus, Virgo and the Capricorn, so now if you will find any planet to be placed in the 14 degree of the earth signs, so that means that planet is going to be placed not only in the Pushkara Navamsa degree, but it is also placed in this specific degree which is called as the Pushkaransh or Pushkara bhaga, which is going to give it additional weightage or power. Now friends, for the air signs, which are Gemini, Libra and Aquarius, the degree is the 24 degree. So any planet which is going to be placed in these said degrees, so that means that planet is going to be placed in the Pushkaransh or the Pushkara bhaga, which is going to give extraordinary strength or power to that planet. And lastly friends, for all the water signs like Cancer, Scorpio and Pisces, the Pushkaransh or the Pushkara bhaga degree is the 7 degrees. So now friends, in our classical text, it has been mentioned over there that no matter in which dignity a planet is going to be placed in the main ascendant chart, or even if a planet is going through some sort of transition from its placement from the main ascendant chart to the D9 chart, but if a planet is going to be placed in the exact Pushkara bhaga degree, that planet is going to gain tremendous strength and all of its signification is going to get nourished and divine protected. So let's say for example, if Sun is going to be placed in the 21 degrees in the Aries sign, so that means that Sun is going to be placed as exalted in the main ascendant chart, but just because it is going to be placed in the sign of debilitation in the D9 chart. So all the classical text and the principle which you have been following so far, you might get this idea that the planet has got a very weak roots in the D9 chart, its foundation is weak. So with the same alignment, if some person is gonna come to you and is gonna ask his prospects for a government job or for any political seat, you might give answer as no. But trust me, just because planet is going to be placed in the Pushkara bhaga degree, exact 21 degree, so that means that planet is going to get more powerful. Same way friends, if you will find that Venus is going to be placed in the Virgo sign, its sign of debilitation in the main ascendant chart, but if it is going to be placed in the 14 degrees of the Virgo sign, so not only it's gonna be placed in the Taurus Navamsa, being potent and powerful in the D9 chart, but also just because it is going to be placed in the Pushkara Bhaga degree, all of its signification is going to stay protected, and in its dasha, in its time period, Venus is going to manifest very strong and positive results. Now friends, after knowing all of this, now comes the part of understanding and judging the application part of all these Pushkara concept. So now friends, that's very simple, because whenever we talk about, first starting with the Muhurta. So as you know that at the time when we were going through the whole playlist or series of the nakshatras, so when I was explaining you the qualities of all the nakshatras, I also explained you the nature of a nakshatra as well. Like there are certain nakshatras which are considered as the dhruva or the sthira, which means fixed. Like when we talk about Uttar Bhadrapada, Uttara Shadha, Uttara Falguni or Rohini. So these nakshatras have got a very fixed quality, which is used whenever we have to do any electional astrology or we have to do the auspicious timing, like taking out the Muhurta. Like fixed nakshatras are considered as very auspicious for like building a house, digging a well. When we talk about any movable or Chara nakshatra in which Shravan, Dhanishta or Sadbhisha comes, these nakshatras can be considered for going on any important travel. When we talk about the very aggressive nakshatra in which Purva Shadha, in which all the like Purva Shadha, Purvabhadrapada, all these nakshatra comes, they can be considered for as a right timing for buying like a license for a gun. So same way friends, like when we talk about the Muhurta, which at times becomes very complicated. Like let's say for example, you have to check the Muhurta or take out the auspicious timing for a task which has to be of fixed in nature. But for the next couple of days, no fixed nakshatra is gonna rise, like moon is not gonna be transiting in any fixed nakshatra. So then in those kind of circumstances, the astrologers always have these kind of small cheat cards in their arsenal, like going for a Abhijit Muhurta, or when we talk about the Pushkara Navamsha Lagan or the degree. So that can be considered as at the right time for choosing of any Muhurta, because that is going to nourish all of the signification for which you're gonna plan any task. Like the way friends, our birth chart act as a destiny for us. Like the time when we were born, the planetary signification is going to give us this idea. The planetary alignment is going to give us this idea that what kind of challenges or opportunities we are going to find in our way. Same way friends, any task which you are about to begin at any specific time, so that time or that Muhurta act as a birth chart for that specific task. So only if you will undertake a task at a very auspicious timing, keeping into consideration and paying respect to all the cosmic plan, cosmic powers, definitely all the energies are going to help in your endeavor. So friends, one of the important application of the Pushkara Navamsha is that while taking out any Muhurta or taking out any auspicious timing, selecting the time when Pushkara Navamsha Lagan is rising, that can be considered as a very auspicious way of selecting a right auspicious time for your task. Like the way, for example, if someone has to get married, if you will find that the Taurus Lagna, that too in the Pushkara Navamsha is rising, so that can be considered as a very good time. So now friends, one objective or one application of the Pushkara Navamsha is for doing the Muhurta. Now second is for the Prashna as well. Like I have also uploaded one video on the Prashna from the KP as well on my this channel. So over there friends, like the way I explained it to you, that many times what happen is that when we have to give the answer in a very snapshot way, so a lot many people do professionally, like the way I do Vedic Astrology, Prashri, some people do KP, some people do majority of the prediction from the like Chara Dasha. So same way friends, when we talk about the Prashna, so that also plays a very key role in giving you a immediate response to any of your query. And moreover friends, if you will find that at the time when you have asked a question, So a Pushkara Navamsa Lagan is rising at that given point of time. Or let's say for example, whatsoever your task is or your question is, if your question is pertaining the matters of the career, which is the 10th house, if your concern is for buying a home or for the relationship matrimonial concern, so home is 4th house, matrimonial concern is the 7th house. So if you will find that those lord of those said houses, so lot of those houses are placed in the Pushkara Navamsa degrees in the transit right at the time when question has been asked, so that can be seen as a very positive response to the answer for the querent's question. Now friends, another application of the Pushkara Navamsa could be that at the time of doing the relationship matchmaking and all of that. Now let's say for example, if you will come across a person in whose case you will find that the 7th house lord is not only gonna be well placed in the chart, but also that planet is going to be placed in the exact Pushkara bhaga degree, like being placed in the fire sign and exactly on the 21 degree. So then you can be assured this thing that this specific area of life in this person's chart is going to be nourished for throughout the life. And let's say for example, at the time when you have to do the compatibility, if you will find that if these are two people, person A, person B, if you will find that the ascendant lord of the person A is going to be placed in the chart of the person B in the Pushkara Navamsa degree, or it's placed in the Pushkara Bhaga specific degree, then we can be assured this thing that they both are going to react and be very harmonious with each other's chart, with each other's energies. So while doing the relationship compatibility and matchmaking also friends, taking into consideration the Pushkara Navamsa concept or the Pushkara Bhaga degree can also give you a very deeper edge to any sort of your analysis. So now friends, before we will conclude this video, we will take up the chart of a celebrity in whose case we can fairly see the resonance of these Pushkara Navamsa degrees. So now friends, we will discuss the chart of the Indian actor Amitabh Bachchan, who is one of my favorite Indian actor. It's not only mine, but of lot many Indians as well. And in his case friends, not only he is a very talented actor, but also you can fairly see the resonance of the Saturnian qualities, which in a way connects me with him. That his work ethics, his degree and sense of perfection, and he's so hardworking and so driven even at this age as well. So now friends, if you will open up his chart, in his case, his two important planets are placed in the Pushkara Navamsa degrees, like which is the planet Jupiter and the planet Venus. Now friends, Jupiter in his case is placed in the 6th house, and in his case there has been two major events which has actually influenced his career. Like there was one instance where he was very badly injured or got wounded in a fight, like in a film fight scene, and this was a national news, and in all the media houses and all of that, everyone declared that he might not be able to recover. And the second incident was when he had borne or endured very heavy business losses, and everyone was saying this thing at that time that Amitabh Bachchan is not gonna recover from these huge debt. All these two matters are somehow connected with the 6th house, and he has Jupiter not only exalted over there, but Jupiter is also placed in the Pushkara Navamsa degrees as well. And now friends, if you will see, Jupiter is also Vargotam as well, being placed in the D9 chart in the same sign. And now friends, the second planet is the Venus. Now Venus becomes the Yogkaraka planet for all the Aquarius rising people. Now if you will look at the chart prima facie, looking at the 8th house, you will get this idea that Venus is debilitated over there. But friends, just because Venus is going to be not only placed in the Taurus Navamsa, but also it is placed in the Pushkara Navamsa degrees as well, so which actually protected all the signification of the Venus. And now friends, if you actually have to make a career in the entertainment, in the film business, that too attaining that level and stature of a legend in your chosen craft, so definitely the significator planet has to be in a strong dignity, and in his case we can fairly see the resonance of the planet being placed in the Pushkara Navamsa degrees. So now friends, I'm very much sure that after watching this video, all the concept which we have been following so far in all of our astrological assessment, that we have to see the planetary dignity in the ascendant chart, we have to validate it in in the D9 chart, but over and above that, you have to also keep in mind that if a planet is going to be placed in the Pushkara Navamsha degree, and if a planet is then weak in the D9 chart, the weakness of the planet is going to get compensated. And if a planet is going to be exalted in the D9 chart and the planet is in the Pushkara Navamsha degree in the main Lagan chart or the ascendant chart, then its power is going to get magnified, and in its dasha, in its time period, good results can be anticipated. So this is something, friends, which I wanted to say as a part of my inputs on this important concept of the Pushkara Navamsha. For further more updates and notifications on the divine science of Vedic astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and like my Facebook page. Dhanyavad.